Sound Off. Eye-opening comments from Joe Burrow, who, as you know, has dealt with a plethora of injuries in his career, including this season. Listen to what he said yesterday.
You know, if I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. You know, I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? I've been through more than most, and certainly not easy on the brain or the body, so just trying to have fun doing it again.
Seemed frustrating.
There's just a lot of things going on right now.
Holy smoke. So that was startling, right? I mean, it's like an uncomfortable laugh. Like that's Joe Burrow, who was one of the great players and great leaders and great everything that we see in the National Football League. Shefty, what did you take away from that?
A lot. That's a contemplative, reflective, thoughtful Joe Burrow who still is processing where he's at this season and how he wants to proceed. The quote is, if I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing that. If you're raising that question at the end of the year, then there is a major issue going on in his mind and with that organization. And if we look at the punishment that he's taken over the years, it rivals that of just about any quarterback. He's been pummeled. I would think he probably hasn't felt supported. The offensive line has not protected him. The defense has failed him. The personnel has not been good around him. And it is within Joe Burrow's right to say and do whatever he wants. He will have a huge say in whether he wants to keep playing, whether he wants to keep playing in Cincinnati. I can tell you this. There are other teams around the league that took notice of that yesterday. So we're talking about all the Sharks circling around the Michigan football players. I can tell you this. All these teams around the league are paying attention to what Joe Burrow said yesterday.
It's the beginning of the end for Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. The organization has absolutely failed him. If I'm the Jets, if I'm the Raiders, if I'm the Vikings, if I'm the Steelers, I'm figuring out a way, coming off of what happened just yesterday, getting together and saying, how do we get Joe Burrow? How do we start the process of making Joe Burrow our quarterback? Because he obviously no longer wants to be in Cincinnati.
And let me interrupt. And Dan's saying these teams have to start the process of saying, how do we get Joe Burrow? Let me answer that for you. There's really only one way. The quarterback himself has to say, I want to go play in this place. And as soon as he says that, it's over in Cincinnati, and he's going to go play wherever, because if he's dug in enough and he's strong enough and he feels the way he does enough, then he gets what he wants here.
And it feels like that yesterday was the beginning of that process.
For sure. I'm old enough to remember two people. One of them was Carson Palmer, who retired rather than continuing playing for the Cincinnati Bengals and ultimately got traded to the Raiders. The other is Andrew Luck. Can we put up the numbers that we have on Andrew Luck? Andrew Luck retired what can only be described as ridiculously prematurely because the fun had literally been beaten out of him in the game. Joe Burrow has been sacked 29 more times than Andrew Luck in 13 fewer games in his career. Hawk.
That'll take the fun out of you.
I'm in the middle of this. Like, everybody has responsibility. I would rather Joe Burrow just come out and say he wants to go somewhere else, just to be honest. And this might be a little Bengal homer in me. And I know for him, you want it to be fun. But a couple of weeks ago, we talked about him coming back and how much of a competitor that he is. It's hard to do both. It is hard. And I get that the Cincinnati Bengals have not put the protection in front of him that he needs. He doesn't want to be injured year in and year out. But I'm just like, just stand on your two and say, hey, I'm ready for a change if that is the process. Otherwise, like the whole ominous, you know, is he going to retire? Is he? That's what I mean. Like, let's just be direct with it. And Joe Burrow is one of my two favorite players in the NFL.
To me, that soundbite we just listened to right there is perfect, because what it is it tells all 31 other teams one of the best players in the NFL may be available, and we might have a chance to go get him. Whether that's real for half of them or not they'll find out later. But as far as him saying, it's got to be fun for me to keep playing, now the organization that he's playing for has alarm bells going off. Their front office is freaking out, and now it's how do we fix and make everything better for Joe Burrow? And the answer to that is investing in their offense.
And it's also not all. Everything isn't like a gentleman in the audience also asked him, is there stuff going on? Is it professional, personal? And he's got like everything. There's a lot of stuff going on that he's dealing with right now. So it's not all like, hey, I want to get out of Cincinnati. There could be other things going on. Like, this is a guy who's also been injured, that's been in the rehab room. Like, this game takes a toll on your body.
Yeah, but he's been injured because of Cincinnati.
No doubt. doubt, no doubt. But I'm just saying, like, we've all been injured in the training room where there's a lot of things going on in our lives, and you think like all this money that we make like should make you happy, should keep your heart rate at 60 on your Garmin watch, but it just
Rolex.
doesn't.
No free shout out.
Yeah, like no free shout out to Garmin. But also like he's taken his entire identity is wrapped up in playing quarterback, and there are things with the Bengals. There's things that sounds like going on with them outside of football, to where he's just giving as thoughtful of an answer as he can, and as authentic as possible. I think it's like saying a lot to everybody.
Joe Burrow has been the best quarterback, the best player on his football team since he was 8 years old, right? When you're unable to do the thing you've loved doing your entire life, that's going to hurt you, but it's also going to affect every other phase of your life, is basically what you're saying, where small little molehills are now being made mountains.
I'm hoping that when I ask him to be direct with the organization, because there is a precedent for Cincinnati, to your point. I was there when Carson Palmer refused to come to camp, and that's where Andy Dalton was born, because he was a second rounder, he was a backup plan. So whatever happened with Carson, they didn't want him to leave, and they were bullish on doing things their way. My request for him to be direct is to hope that the Bengals will say, here's how we will change it. Here is our plan to prevent that from happening again, because there's a very clear blueprint to that same history repeating itself.
But then you have to, if you're the player, if you're Joe, you have to trust and believe that they actually will. He's been there for 5 or 6 years. They've had the worst pass protection in the NFL. Out of every quarterback, had the worst pass protection. They're going to change it now?
And if they don't, then it will be Andrew Luck.
Very quick final word, super quick.
Quarterbacks know what they're saying at all times. For him to say that makes you think.
Back on Get Up. Let's make sure we do get in all the NFL news that you need here this morning with Adam Schefter in our studio. As always, let's start with Jaden Daniels' status against the Giants.
Greeny, they've already ruled him out for Sunday's game against the New York Giants. Marcus Mariota will start. He aggravated the left elbow injury on this play right here in a game that some people thought he shouldn't have even been playing to begin with, but he was out there because he felt healthy. Now he will not be out there this week. He will be on the bench. Marcus Mariota will start. Meanwhile, tonight in Tampa, the Buccaneers officially have activated Mike Evans off injured reserve. He's coming back from a broken collarbone, and obviously they don't activate him off IR yesterday without the intent to play him tonight against the Atlanta Falcons. They also activated Jalen McMillan, so there'll be 2 wide receivers that the Buccaneers are expected to have added to that position. That's good news for Baker Mayfield and that Buccaneers offense. And then, of course, you have the situation with Phillip Rivers. Everybody waiting to see whether he will, in fact, wind up starting Sunday's game. And the Colts have said they want to see how he gets through practice yesterday, how he gets through practice today. Who knows what kind of muscle he could pull? He's 44. He's a grandfather. Anything could happen. But they want to make sure he's happy and healthy. And in the interim, Riley Leonard, who strained a knee ligament on Sunday, he was a full participant in practice yesterday. So that tells you that if Grandpa Rivers is unable to go on Sunday, Riley Leonard would be able to go. But it certainly sounds like they would like to have Phillip Rivers out there. And it's a question of whether he feels up to the challenge. And if you listen to him, dadgummit, he certainly sounds like a boy, Shefty.
For what it's worth, if he's on the practice squad, it does not restart his Hall of Fame clock. The minute they activate him, the minute they put him on the active roster, it would be 5 more years before he'd be eligible for the Hall of Fame. So that feels worth keeping in mind as you listen to what Rivers said yesterday about his potential return.
It's been a whirlwind of 48 hours, I'll say. But each moment that goes by, I feel more and more confident. I really do. I think for me, the decision wasn't easy. And because of all the things that you all can imagine, there's human nature to have a little doubt, you know. And I think for me, working through that was, well, that's normal. You know, that's normal to have a little doubt. Who wouldn't have doubt after 5 years, you know? But where's that? Is that doubt real or not? And it's like, well, let's again, like I go back to our first answer. The only way you can find out is to go.
So the minute he started talking, every person at this desk in unison said, "Oh, he's playing."
Yeah.
Rivers turned 44 3 days ago. He is older than any of the former players sitting here. The only people on Get Up this morning older than him are Shefty and me. Yep. Dan is the closest in age to him, and Dan hasn't played in 8 years. So, I mean,
you're only 42?
Where the hell did we get that picture of
I
Dan?
haven't gotten
Hold
involved.
on.
I think it's close to 50.
Greeny and I want to make an announcement. We are officially retiring without
Exactly right. So let me start with you, though, Dan. I mean, he's 44. He hasn't played in 5 years. Obviously, he's a terrific player. I believe he belongs in the Hall of Fame, and I think he will get there eventually. But that's not today's story. Do you believe he can step in at this point and help this team make a playoff run?
No, I don't. If you looked at their schedule, I would have told you, even when Daniel was playing at his highest level, if they finished this season 2-2, that would be a success. That was with the quarterback that for most of the season was playing MVP. I think the two big question marks I have with Phillip are, one, this offense is predicated on running the RPO, the run pass option. There's a lot of nuance to it, and you got to be quick doing it. Unlikely to be quick at 44 doing that.
Yep.
Second thing is, can he take a hit? Do I have any doubt that he can go out there and throw the ball? No, he can absolutely throw the football as well as needed. Can he take a hit? What is the hit going to feel like when you get sawed in half by Witherspoon or Eamon Worry this weekend against the Seahawks and getting up from that one? That's going to be the question. So I have unbelievable amounts of love for Phillip Rivers. He's one of my favorite players ever to watch. I just don't see how, given who he's going against and his age, this turns out to be the dream scenario.
He's the consummate football guy. Like, I never question his love of the game. Even when he's not playing, he's coaching Little League football, high school football. He just genuinely loves and enjoys being around it, which makes sense of why he made a decision like this. To Dan's point, I want to see, can you move around enough for an NFL game? I want to see if your decision-making is also as quick as you need to be in an NFL game, because the game speeds up. Like, when I watch NFL games now, I am in awe of how fast these guys are moving, and it boggles my mind that at one point we were out there moving like that. I am old, and he's almost 6 years older than me. And then on top of that, how long will it last? So even in success, let's say he can throw it, he is making quick decisions, he is moving around adequately for this team. How long is that going to last at 44 years old from the couch after doing nothing for 5 years? I'm not confident that those answers are going to be things that the Indianapolis Colts feel good about.
You have a look on your face. I can't.
Well, I just think that they've been running an offense that they literally were adjusting to a guy who was playing with a hairline fracture in his left fibula, where they knew they didn't want to put him on the move. So they're taking that offense, and now they're putting, instead of the guy with the hairline fracture, they're putting a 44-year-old quarterback in it, and they're asking him to be surreal, which he can be. So they're going to put him in spots that they feel like they're not compromising him. Now, I'm sure DeMarcus Lawrence may have something else to say about that.
Yeah, this Seattle defense is disgusting.
The defense,
on the road, in the rain.
right, but the thing that gives Phillip Rivers an edge in this game is his mind, his ability to dissect defenses and get the ball and know where his hot reads are. He's a neck-up guy. Like, I've been this is my third season not playing football. We go to a lot of football games. Everything, even when I walk by warm-ups, I'm like, oh my God.
How did I do that?
They still do this? Like, it's horrible. Him being a quarterback, I'm sure something happened, just like similar to breakfast this morning when I headed Will a plate. He almost dropped it and caught it. That's what gave Phillip Rivers like, yeah, maybe I can still roll this thing. If it's me, I'm an Indianapolis Colts fan. Don't worry about playoffs. Don't worry about it's not happening. You call your significant other, let them know, hey, this crazy storyline's taking place. Sit back, grab the popcorn, have a little bit of fun. Because Phillip Rivers is going to be just like Joe Flacco. He's going to go, this does not matter about legacy, Super Bowls. He's going to go have fun. He's going to rip it. He's going to chuck it. And that's what we have to be excited about.
That's what I'm excited about. I get we're up here, we're commenting on the expectations of this play, but just seeing Phillip Rivers back in the building. Like, you guys know, when we're in this game, you are imprisoned to this game mentally. Like, you're a slave to the result, you're a slave to the film room, you're a slave to your performance. And when he's tasted the other side of it now. To where now that he's coming back into the league, he's playing with house money. Like, there is really no expectation. He gets to go out there, grip it, rip it, have fun, and truly play the game that he remembers loving growing up playing. Because, again, he's not in the bubble like everybody else has been. Like, we listen to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's in the bubble right now. Phillip Rivers has been on the outside of it. Now he gets to come back in. He's playing with house money. I'm excited for him.
There's something so real about Will said, because when you are in the game, and we all know this, like, you're so zoomed in.
Yeah.
Every little movement you make, you think everybody's watching. Like, all 53 guys on that roster have main character syndrome.
Yes.
The minute you get out of the locker room and you kind of get to zoom out a little bit, you're like, man, all those things I was really worried about, they weren't real.
Yeah,
it was just my own brain.
I love it.
Taylor, you remember this. And you guys know I hate talking about my career publicly on national television.
Of course.
But my last couple years, I felt that way of, like, playing with house money there when I'd get a call back. Oh, damn, like, they want me to come play. Like, yeah, I can give you a couple reps on punt team. But when I went back into the locker room, I had more joy going into work because I already know I was playing on borrowed time. Like, I had nothing to lose. Now I just get to play the game that I remember loving as I was growing up playing it.
And I feel like it's worth saying again. I mean, it is a selfless thing on some level that he is doing, because he is restarting his own Hall of Fame clock. I mean, this is a guy who has a chance to go to the Hall of Fame next month, and instead now
I
this
don't
get
think he
pushed back
cares one
5
bit
years.
about the Hall of Fame.
I guess
think
not.
he cares a lot more
He's all
about the
ball.
Irsay family and Shane Steichen than he does the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
They are very close.